Welcome. Welcome back to the podcast. I'll tell the world. I'm your host. Happy Thursday. Happy man. August is almost over with. August the 28th. What the hell? This month, like I said, is passing by. This was my birthday month, and I can't believe how fast August has left out of here. We're about to jump into September, and that's going to be taking us soon to be into the fall season. So, summer, goodbye. Um, Welcome back to the show, y'all. We're back on and stuff, and I wanted to just jump into some combo here with yourself. Um, this discussion will be short, maybe 15 minutes, 12 minutes, who knows? Um, solitude of yourself. A lot of people got different definitions of solitude of themselves. For me, solitude for myself is a place where no one can go. I think this is in all of us. Trust me, it's not a secret. It's in all of us, and I believe sometimes within solitude, within silence of ourselves, sometimes we have to take ourselves to that place, sometimes where nobody can go, nobody can reach you. Remember, no one can reach you inside your brain when you go into solitude. What's solitude for yourself? How do you use it? Well, when you're shutting down, for me, shutting down from folks, unplugging myself from the world, unplugging myself from things that are maybe interrupting me, or maybe the places where I just want to just unplug from things. Solitude can be unplugging from a job where you need to take off and you need more time for yourself. These are mental health things, right? That we need to do for ourselves, taking time out for self. Solitude for me is just going into a place where I know nobody can go. And this is a place I go to where I can think, a place where I can think, right? The voice of reasoning. Why? Because you need to go to a place with yourself where you need to think, to sort out things, right? To sort out things for yourself. Sometimes too many voices, sometimes particular voices, sometimes may interfere in your thinking. Sometimes it interferes with your emotions and decisions that you make sometimes without solitude of thinking. Get into yourself to just think, to focus, to just get to yourself to go into a place. Sometimes solitude, you don't even have to be thinking. Sometimes you're just sorting out what's inside your head. All the things that we hear every day, all that stuff processes through our brain, and it becomes the imagination of what we're seeing was created within thoughts that come out of self. Then it comes into the world, right? Sometimes these thoughts of the rushes, the criticisms, the circumstances, or shit going on around you. It just comes into a creation of how people create these things around them. And sometimes these people don't understand how these things were created when it comes out of self thinking, or you're just going on with how other people are doing. So you join along and add on to others' creation, which fucks the world up, right? Which F the world up. It's like listening to music, and the music has these vibrations, these certain chants, these certain lyrics that kind of get you to adapting into, the mood, and all of a sudden you're behaving with the words and the song is channeling to you, and you become what that music wanted you to be. Okay. It's things that you hear. Remember that? See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, things like that. Where am I going with this? I'm going in a lot of places because solitude for self sometimes is needed when things are a bit too much in life, right? Things can be a bit too much. Where can you go to get this solitude? Is the question. Well, besides in your headspace, right? Sometimes you have to use footwork to put yourself in the place where you feel like you are safe, a safe place to be with self, right? You want to be in a safe place with yourself. Now, being a man of myself, there's no shame in my game to say sometimes I need to be in a safe place in my head, in my space, right? But this is not just me. I didn't make this up. Trust me, there's thoughts in your mind sometimes that you think about and you share things with people, and sometimes you feel like sharing things may be the wrong thing to do. So sometimes when people don't understand you, you go into a quiet space with yourself and you're not saying much. That's solitude. What? Solitude of just feeling safe. And you don't want to be a burden on people, right? We don't want to be a burden, and we don't want to keep repetition talking about and speaking about the same thing constantly all the time. Um, Solitude with self becomes a practice. It's not just a practice, it's actually built in within yourself, right? Or sometimes we lose that solitude of ourselves, and we you see it in different people where they don't know how to manage self, right? They don't know how to manage themselves where they can just be angry real fast, or they get upset real fast, or they're just snappy real fast, or they just take things the wrong way real fast. So it's like the emotions, the emotions of not choosing the right emotion and choosing the right what body parts, the five senses that God has given us all, like listening, right? Listening, uh, someone not speaking, right? Someone just needs you to just use your ears to just listen, right? Things like that. So in life, you start to understand that um, with certain people, you develop these tools of yourself to understand people more without being judgmental, right? Or you're just learning that person. You're learning how not to you don't want to tread, right? And you don't want to be on thin ice, right? Because then that's still not being understanding. So you want to understand this person the right way, right? By listening and having the happen to choose the right words to say, right? You're not being careful, but respectfully, you're listening, right? You're listening to that person. So, so once again, solitude for me, I go into a place with myself. I use this place with myself where I feel like God, spiritually, I'm in this space right here. Solitude. Think about it. It's like a meditation, right? It's like a meditation of yourself, and you're just quietly to yourself. You don't have to talk about it, right? You don't have to talk about it. You can be quiet to yourself. Now, let me give you the devil side of solitude. There is, oh yeah, there is a devil side of solitude. What's that? When you get to yourself and you're meditating, right? And you hear frivolously all of this shit that you have heard from everybody and people in particular that you run into all the time where the things sound like a bunch of jibber jabber all combined. Jibber 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 jibber. Jibber. And it's like you're out of your mind. Things, sometimes just can be a bit drive you nuts, right? You feel a little nuts, okay? You feel a little bit crazy, a little bit. You feel out of your mind for those moments. And when you're feeling like that, you do have to get into a quiet solitude space for yourself to wind down, to think. How often should you use it? Much as you can until you do the footwork, you do that solitude thinking, meditating, understanding like this is a better place for me to think clear. So now I have some solutions to what I'm going through, right? Solutions of what I'm going through. So you apply some of these things not much. So don't put a lot on yourself when you're applying things in your life to channel yourself the right way where you don't lose control of self and you just can't use your own brain. All right. You can't use your own brain. You can't think. You're hearing everybody else, but you can't think. Back in the days, in the 80s, they used to use the phrase airhead, right? Airhead. So you don't want to become that because then you definitely don't have nothing in your space of sitting in a space where you could sit to think, right? A place to sit and think. Just I gotta interrupt the call, but we're back. There is a place for self to think in a space for yourself where nobody can go. It's sitting in a chair and you're slowly just listening to thoughts. You're listening to what's inside your head, right? You're listening to yourselves and you're just thinking, right? You're listening and you're thinking. You're going through all of this that sometimes in life we don't realize that, wow, I've heard a lot of shit. I've heard a lot of shit. You can hear a lot of things, and eventually in life it drowns your voice out where you don't have a voice. Your voice is not there for self. You're just not there. And some people think that solitude is a bad place, but it's not. It's a place to feel safe, a place to think. I also believe that solitude is a place where you sit down and you have God there listening. He don't have to speak, but he's listening, right? He's listening. And eventually clearing out some of these things, right? Clearing out, clearing out, speaking to some of these things to go away. You serve no purpose. This is what you're saying inside your head. Go away. You serve no purpose for me. Okay. So eventually you're breaking down solitude of yourself where you're clearing out thoughts and you're getting your voice back into your thoughts and you're finding you back into the place where you need to be, where you need to be. That's a safe place to be. Um, um, with yourself. Uh, it's just checking on your mental health. Um, uh, how many people sometimes ask you how you doing and how you feeling? We get that often, right? But it's nice to get it from someone who cares enough to ask you, how you feeling today, right? How you feeling? It's a wonderful feeling, right? To get that feeling of someone asking you how are you doing? And sometimes you don't have to tell them how you're feeling, right? But someone asking you that uh, gives you a chance to say that someone cared enough to ask you that, right? Because sometimes going into ourselves so much can be a bit, right? And sometimes we can go too far into those voices and we just don't have that channel inside of our head where we just we feel drowned out is what I'm saying. You get drowned out, you get burnt out, you get burnt out in life where you're burnt out with yourself where you just don't have that energy no more. And so that devil side of solitude is the one that's defeating you because it has placed you in another place of chaos. Chaos. So I hope that could help someone uh, use those words of what I'm saying, solitude. That phrase there, solitude of self. Just listen to the words that I said, and I just hope that someone gets something out of it because it's real important for us all. And then sometimes, y'all, we lose ourselves so much where we're not even thinking of that. Um, Thinking smart, thinking sensible for self, right? Right? Like, how do you feel about self? What do you want, right? You choosing, right? You making a choice. Those type of things that gives you back, get you back to yourself. Those things. So, yeah, so I hope that helps. Well, guys, I thought I would come on and share that, and I'm going to end it there. Um, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Hell, if you don't want to subscribe, share it. Share it, you know. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. And that concludes the podcast called Tell the World. And you guys have